Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Giraj Govardhana ki jai. I think you could take these. Just set them down. So, very happy to be here with all of you tonight on this most joyous, special celebration occasion, celebrating Govardhana Puja. So before I continue, I'll just offer some prayers to my spiritual teachers. Om Jnanativedandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshulanmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karitivachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Diritarinam Vancha Kapadiribhishcha Kripa Sandhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So according to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, so many other spiritual literatures coming from India, it's explained that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appears millennium after millennium. And in the Bhagavad Gita, there's a verse, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata, and Pritra Nayu Saranam Vinashaya Chaduskritam. So Krishna is explaining there in Bhagavad Gita that whenever there is an uprise of irreligion or people, irreligion, there's a decline in that, then Krishna says that he comes. And he comes to protect the sadhus, the saintly persons, the devotees, and to annihilate the demons, or the miscreants. It says miscreants there. And similarly, devotees also, they take on the same mission of Krishna. Like Srila Prabhupada, for example, the founder Acharya of the Hare Krishna movement. One time he went to London. He went there a few times. One time he went to London and he was meeting with a reporter, and the reporter asked him, "Why did you come to London?" And Srila Prabhupada said, in essence, paraphrasing, that I came to London to teach you what you have forgotten. And then the reporter said, "What is that?" And Srila Prabhupada said, "I've come to teach you God consciousness or Krishna consciousness." So just as Krishna comes to reestablish those principles, teach us, similarly devotees also are carrying on the mission of Krishna. And in relation to Krishna's appearance, Srila Prabhupada would say that aside from him appearing and establishing religious principles and so on, Krishna comes to attract us. And he's able to attract us, and he does attract us because he's all attractive. Krishna means all attractive. So he attracts us by his very person and his activities and so on. And Srila Prabhupada said that he also comes to give us something to talk about. Or else we'd be having to talk about so many other things, which ultimately aren't helpful in us attaining happiness or the goal of life or anything like that. So in this particular, Krishna came about 5,000 years ago, and his childhood was spent in Vrindavan, which you could still visit nowadays. Everybody should visit if you can. And there he displayed so many different activities. And one of those particular activities was the lifting of Govardhana Hill, which we're celebrating today, Govardhana Puja, lifting of Govardhana Hill. So, as it's said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that as a matter of custom, the residents of Vrindavan, Krishna's father, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they would worship Lord Indra every year. And Indra is in charge of providing rain. And from that rain, you can have a nice agriculture, growing nice vegetables, so many things like that. Everybody needs rain, right? It's basic. So, as a matter of custom, that's what they would do. So Krishna, he came to his father, and he was young at this time. It says 7 years old. And he asked his father, why are you doing this? What is the reason? What is the purpose? Why are you doing this? And specifically, as the pastime goes, Krishna discouraged Nanda Maharaj, his father, and all of them from doing this. He said it's not necessary. And Srila Prabhupada makes the point in Krishna book that it's twofold reason why it's not necessary. One was that there's no need to worship the demigods for temporary benefits. That's one reason. We should go after the eternal, not the temporary. And two, the other reason was that after all, everything's coming from Krishna. So even the benefits we do get from the demigods, or people do get from the demigods, they're coming from Krishna directly. So why not just go to Krishna? That was the reasons. As Srila Prabhupada says, twofold reasons. And Krishna gave so many reasons, other reasons why not to offer this sacrifice, this worship, yearly worship to Indra. And instead, he said you should worship Govardhana Hill. Because Govardhana Hill is supplying so much. And he said you should worship the cows, Govardhana Hill, the Brahmins. And specifically throughout, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it says that Govardhana Hill is Haridas Varya, which means the greatest devotee of Krishna. And why is that? Because Krishna, Balaram, the cowherd boys, they go to Govardhana Hill regularly, gopis, all the devotees of Krishna, they go there. And Govardhana Hill provides so much service. There's nice caves in Govardhana Hill where if it's too hot, you could go and they go and cool down. Krishna, Balaram, the cowherd boys go. And if it's too cold, the rain and so on, then they go in the caves. And there's so many nice streams, nectarian streams of water which they drink from, and all types of different roots and this and that which they eat. And also nice, you could say pigments, from the earth. They decorate each other's bodies and so on. So Govardhana Hill teaches us that it's not enough just to worship Krishna, just to worship God, just to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, that's good, but it's said that it's actually Krishna's more pleased if we serve the devotees. So this is what Govardhana Hill is teaching us, that Govardhana Hill is just not interested in serving Krishna and Balaram, but is interested in serving all the devotees as well. So we should also be like that, because we should try to follow the best devotees, Haridas Varya, Govardhana. So what I'll do now is I'll read a few verses and purports from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is 10th canto, chapter 25, Krishna Lifts Govardhana Hill, is entitled that. Yeah. So if everybody could please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Indra, upon hearing that this his worship was cancelled, became angry, became extremely angry. He lost it, completely lost it. We'll read here, and it mentions that as well. Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga. Okay. Tvannatam Gokulam Prabho Tatram Arhasi Devana Kupitad Bhaktavatsala. Okay, so this is the translation. The cowherd men and women addressed the Lord, Krishna. All right, this is what they said. Krishna, Krishna, O most fortunate one, please deliver the cows from the wrath of Indra. O Lord, you are so affectionate to your devotees. Please save us also. Okay, next text 14. 10:25-14. Seeing the inhabitants of his Gokul rendered practically unconscious by the onslaught of hail and blasting wind, the Supreme Lord Hari understood that this was the work of angry Indra. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the severe distress Indra apparently inflicted upon the residents of Vrindavan was an arrangement made by Sri Krishna's pastime potency to enhance the loving dealings between the residents and the Lord. The Acharya gives the analogy that for a hungry person, the pain of hunger increases the happiness he feels when he finally eats excellent food. And thus hunger can be said to enhance the pleasure of eating. Similarly, the residents of Vrindavan, although not experiencing ordinary material anxiety, felt a type of distress at the activities of Indra and thus intensified their meditation on Krishna. When the Lord finally acted, the result was wonderful. 15. Sri Krishna said to himself, because we have stopped his sacrifice, Indra has caused his unusually fierce, unseasonable rain, together with terrible winds and hail. By my mystic power, I will completely counteract this disturbance caused by Indra. Demigods like Indra are proud of their opulence, and out of foolishness, they falsely consider themselves the Lord of the universe. I will now destroy such ignorance. Technical difficulties. Making noise. Since the demigods are endowed with the mode of goodness, this is Krishna continuing, the false pride of considering oneself the Lord should certainly not affect them. When I break the false pride of those bereft of goodness, my purpose is to bring them relief. So what it's saying here is that that Indra was feeling extreme pride. And Krishna, because Indra, after all, is a devotee, Krishna wanted to help his devotee, Indra. So we're going to do a change up here. Okay. Go ahead. So Krishna wanted to help his devotee Indra in relation to smashing his pride. Krishna doesn't like devotees to be proud. And then he continues, I must therefore protect the cowherd community by my transcendental potency, for I am their shelter, I am their master, and indeed they are my own family. After all, I have taken a vow to protect my devotees. Having said this, Lord Krishna, who is Vishnu himself, picked up Govardhana hill with one hand and held it aloft just as easily as a child picks up a mushroom. Very easy, right, to pick up a mushroom for a child? For anybody. Very easy. Purport. It is confirmed in the Hari Vamsa that Sri Krishna picked up the Govardhana mountain with his left hand. Sadrita Sangato Megar Giri Savyena Panina. With his left hand he picked up that mountain which was touching the clouds. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, when Lord Krishna was preparing to lift Govardhana hill, a partial expansion of his Yogamaya potency named Samhariki temporarily removed all the rain from the sky, so that as he ran very swiftly from the porch of his house to the mountain, neither his turban nor other garments became wet. All right, next. The Lord then addressed the cowherd community. O mother, O father, O residents of Raj, if you wish, you may now come under this hill with your cows. You should have no fear this mountain will fall from my hand, and don't be afraid of the wind and rain, for your deliverance from these afflictions has already been arranged. Their minds thus pacified by Lord Krishna, they all entered beneath the hill, where they found ample room for themselves and their cows, wagons, servants, and priests, and for all of the members of the community as well. Lord Krishna, forgetting hunger and thirst and putting aside all considerations of personal pleasure, stood there holding up the hill for 7 days as the people of Raj gazed upon him. So Krishna was lifting Govardhana hill with his left hand, and specifically his left pinky. And all the devotees of Vrindavan were underneath the hill. There's a few, on top of a few animals, it said, but they weren't hurt. But most everybody was there under the hill. And it says that they're all gazing at Krishna. And it said that Krishna, his most famous form, the threefold bending form, he had that threefold bending form, like we have here on the altar, Shri Shri Radha Giridhari. And it said that at one particular point, that Krishna, he pulled out his flute. And he put the flute to his mouth and he started playing his flute. And then his friend, Madhu Mangal, he's quite a humorous cowherd boy. Huh? Yeah, Brahmin boy. He told Krishna that please don't play your flute, because by hearing your flute, Govardhana might go into ecstasy. Govardhana hill might go into ecstasy, and then the hill might fall on us, or crash on us. So please don't play your flute. And then he said also that please don't play your flute. The reason being is because sometimes, or quite often, when Krishna plays his flute, or all the time when Krishna plays his flute, those things that are solid, such as the stones and so on, they melt. And it says that the rivers, they stop in ecstasy. So the stones melt, rivers stop. So Madhu Mangala was saying, please don't play your flute, and because Govardhana hill may melt, and then we'll all be drowned. So please don't do that. Anyways, and then devotees, they're saying, no, don't worry, it's okay, and so. And it says Mother Yashoda, she was massaging Krishna's left arm, left hand, because he was getting tired, and there's so many wonderful things there. And so it's very wonderful pastime in the sense that all the devotees were there together. So Indra's anger and all this, they brought them all together, taking shelter of Krishna, taking darshan of Krishna. And which normally, on a regular basis, they weren't all together. Means that there's particular times of the day where Krishna was with the gopis and not with anybody else. There's particular times where Krishna is with the cowherd boys and not with the gopis. And there's particular times where Krishna is with his mother and father. And when they're not together, means Krishna's not with his mother and father or other devotees, those devotees are feeling separation from Krishna. Just like somebody you love, you have affection for, whatever, your son or your daughter or your friend or whoever. If they're gone, and if they're gone for a while, you feel separation from them. You miss them. So similarly, although from one point of view they weren't gone Krishna wasn't gone for so long, but it seemed like a very long time because they had so much attachment to a Mother Yashoda when Krishna was going out to herd the cows in the forest. It seemed like very long time, thousands, millions of years Krishna's gone. So this pastime brought them all together. So it was very wonderful. So we'll just read a few more. When Indra observed this exhibition of Lord Krishna's mystic power, he became most astonished. Pulled down from his platform of false pride and his intentions thwarted, he ordered his clouds to desist. Seeing that the fierce wind and rain had now ceased, the sky had become clear of rain clouds, and the sun had risen, Lord Krishna, the lifter of Govardhana hill, spoke to the cowherd community as follows. My dear cowherd men, please go out with your wives, children, possessions, give up your fear. The wind and rain have stopped, and the river's high waters have subsided. After collecting their respective cows and loading their paraphernalia into their wagons, the cowherd men went out. The women, children, and elderly persons gradually followed them. While all the living creatures looked on, the Supreme Personality of God had put down the hill in its original place, just as it had stood before. Okay. All right, just a few more. All the residents of Vrindavan were overwhelmed with ecstatic love, and they came forward and greeted Sri Krishna according to their individual relationships with him, some embracing him, others bowing down to him, and so forth. The cowherd women presented water mixed with yogurt and unbroken barley corns as a token of honor, and they showered auspicious benedictions upon him. Mother Yashoda, Mother Rohini, Nanda Maharaj, and Balaram, the greatest of the strong, all embraced Krishna. Overwhelmed with affection, they all offered him their blessings. In the heavens, O king, all the demigods, including the Siddhas, Satyas, Gandharvas, and Charanas, sang the praises of Lord Krishna and showered down flowers in great satisfaction. My dear Maharaj Parikshit, the demigods in heaven resoundingly played their conch shells and kettle drums, and the best of the Gandharvas, led by Tumbura, began to sing. Last verse. Surrounded by his loving cowherd boyfriends and Lord Balaram, Krishna then went off to the place where he had been tending his cows. The cowherd girls returned to their homes, singing joyfully about the lifting of Govardhana Hill and other glorious deeds performed by Lord Krishna, who had so deeply touched their hearts. So, yes, it's a amazing pastime, and it teaches us many things. Of course, there's been many books written about this particular pastime, different spiritual teachers, acharyas. And one thing I was thinking was that the devotees, when there was some danger, they didn't look anywhere else. They didn't look here, they didn't look there, they didn't look anywhere, but they just looked towards Krishna. So that's what we're supposed to do too. And it's a gradual process. We may not be able to do that fully, but over time we should become more and more and more dependent on Krishna, until the point where we're completely dependent, just like the residents of Vrindavan. Because after all, we should want to become the residents of Vrindavan. And another interesting thing is that not only that the devotees went to Krishna for protection, but he gave him protection. He gave him protection. So Krishna is all-powerful. He could give us protection as well. And another amazing thing is that although Indra, he tried to kill the residents of Vrindavan. That's what he was trying to do. He wasn't trying to... It was in no way some type of drama or dramatic performance where he was joking or something, or this was serious. He was literally trying to kill them, all of them, including Krishna. Of course, he failed. But nonetheless, even though he tried to do that, what did Krishna do? Did he condemn him to hell? No. Krishna forgave him. It's absolutely amazing. In the later chapters it says Indra came in a secluded place, he offered prayers, and it was Surabhi cow. Of course it says that, it's mentioned that if you want to get forgiveness from somebody, you should bring a love person with them that they love, so they'll hear you better, right? Like you act as your representative or something. So Krishna forgave Indra. It's absolutely amazing. So who could be more merciful than Krishna? So here we are sitting. This is New Govardhana. So we have Govardhana, the original Govardhana, which is considered to be in India, but not really in India. It's a spiritual world. So Srila Prabhupada had this idea. He would name the different temples. There's an original place, such as Govardhana, and this is New Govardhana. And then he have this idea of, there's a place also Jagannath Puri. So Berkeley is New Jagannath Puri, and so on. New Vrindavan, like in West Virginia. And the idea was that the residents or the community members of those particular places would be in the mood of the residents in the original Govardhana. So in other words, we're supposed to be fired up for Krishna, just like the residents of Govardhana are, the original Govardhana. So, yeah, it's a special place we're sitting in, and it's a special occasion, Govardhana Puja. And of course we have Sri Sri Radha Giridhari here, the presiding deities in the middle here. And Giri means mountain, and Dari means to lift. So what hill are they referring to? They're referring to Govardhana, obviously. One person, they asked Prabhupada that if God is all-powerful, can he create a hill he cannot lift? And you know what Prabhupada's answer was? Yes, he can. But then Prabhupada said that in just the next moment, he'll be able to lift it. So this is Krishna. So yeah, due to time restrictions, we'll stop now, and we will continue with the festival. So next we will be having kirtan, circumambulating Govardhana here, and eventually all the sweets there offered to Govardhana, they will be distributed to everybody here. So this is the tradition. So, all right, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Giriraj Govardhana ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Giridhari ki jai, Gauda Bhaktavinda ki jai, Nittai Gauda Premanande Hare Hare Bo. Hare Krishna. Thank you.